What's up, low blood pressure? Look at you coming in here causing all sorts of problems. I'm at day 7 after my 3rd chemo for breast cancer. I'm supposed to have 6 more, so I'm officially halfway through. I have just discovered that a lot of my symptoms and issues are related to low blood pressure. It only happened my first chemo and now the 3rd. My 2nd chemo, I was feeling pretty good, but the first chemo, I also had a sweet tooth. Low blood pressure is a side effect of some chemotherapy drugs. I also have low blood pressure to begin with, and then there's ibuprofen. I'm taking THC edible. The steroid turned into one hell of a ride. Low blood pressure can cause a lot of fatigue. A lot of the symptoms of low blood pressure are also the symptoms for low red blood cells, which I also have now. So around day 3 to day 4 is when the steroid drugs, woohoo, energy starts wearing off. And then that's when the bone pain and the headaches start creeping in. At the same time, I've been very dizzy. That was a symptom I had the first round, which I believe now to be related to my low blood pressure. At some point on day 5, I had not slept for many days, and that probably it didn't help. I was extremely lethargic. I really was having a hard time sleeping overnight. Because of the low blood pressure, I wasn't thinking very well, and I would think I was over medicating on the THC edibles. I just couldn't keep track of how many milligrams I was eating versus what time it was. It was also extremely difficult to communicate or even think. So there were a lot of things that I couldn't tell my boyfriend, even though he was right here the whole time. It took hours before we finally figured out that maybe I have low blood pressure. I do have a blood pressure cuff at home. This has actually come up before, which is why I have the blood pressure cuff. So I did the blood pressure cuff reading, and it was like 85 over 59 or something, which is extremely low for me even. My resting blood pressure is usually in the mid 90s, whatever the top number is, the systolic, diastolic. But if you give me time to relax, it's actually in the 90s. So this probably explains why I was having all the sweet cravings, trying to pump myself up with sugar. The low blood pressure causes me to feel like I'm nauseous, I'm dizzy, I'm very fatigued. It's hard to breathe. It triggered a panic attack. And that's on top of all the other GI symptoms and chemo symptoms, bone pain. When you're not feeling well and you have low blood pressure, it all kind of compounds. You're not exactly sure where it comes from. So just trying to describe to my boyfriend where the blood pressure cuff was very difficult. I don't remember what it looked like. I didn't remember what container it was in. I remembered vaguely where it was. Started Googling what could help. Sugar can help, but it doesn't really help. It's actually salty foods that help. And actually coffee and caffeine is what gives you that good spike. That's what I really needed, a coffee. But at 3 a.m, you're not thinking, I'm going to make a coffee. So ultimately, coffee, salty foods, sugar. Next time I have an ice cream craving, I'm going to start checking my blood pressure immediately. I've been checking it more regularly now, and it has improved. I still have a lot of GI symptoms, still feel very dizzy and nauseous, and I think that is related to my blood pressure just trying to get back to normal. So if this is you, have your blood pressure cuff ready, and when symptoms get too bad, check your blood pressure first. Maybe that's contributing.